Welcome to Psychology 1 Online for summer 2017. I'm your instructor, Reese, and I'm going to give you a little tour of the course. Some of you are new to Canvas, and so you might want to know about a couple of things. One, this bar right here is the global navigation bar. It applies to all of your courses. This bar right here, this menu, is strictly for the current course you're in this case, Psychology 1. Let me first, just before we do anything else, I want to show you this email right here. Really, the only thing that you need to know that's not obvious here is this little button right here. This is compose a new message. Everything else in here is probably fairly intuitive. This is a little menu system right here, and this is where your messages will be displayed when you gather a few of them. So back on the home page, let's take a look at some of the items on the menu here. The heart of this course is right here, the weekly assignment modules. So each week has its own module. Let's take a look at the start here, which is where you will want to start. Each week typically will have, for the summer, 2 chapters. So you'll see something, typically you'd see week 3A is one module, week 3B, and both the same week, 626 to 72. So you'll notice that what you're seeing here is 2 chapters in 1 week. That will always be the case except for the final week, which is the finals week. There is no final in here other than the last chapter, chapter 13. So there's 1 chapter in that week. There is 1 chapter in the first week, this week, and then the second part of that week is chapter 1. So the first week will have 1 chapter. The second week will also have 1 chapter because chapter 2, the biological perspective, is the toughest chapter in the textbook. After that, all of them have 2 chapters per week, but each chapter has its own module. So let's take a look at the week 1 orientation. This is the video you're watching right now. The rest of this is just follow sequentially down the list. And what this is going to do for you is prepare you for the orientation and syllabus quiz, which is going to quiz you on your knowledge of plagiarizing, what it takes to plagiarize, how to avoid plagiarizing, the penalties for doing so, the academic honesty policy. If you click on this link right here, avoiding plagiarism, that's a 3-page document on exactly that, how to avoid plagiarism. This link will show you the academic honesty policy for Butte College. This link will show you the syllabus condensed, which is the version that has everything taken out of it except what might be involved in the questions on the syllabus and orientation quiz. Then after you've read those, you can take the syllabus quiz right here, and you need to score 100% on that quiz before you proceed in the course. So even the second part of the first week will not show up for you until you take this quiz enough times to score 100% correct. That will tell me that you know about the attendance requirements for the course, exactly what is required in the course, what plagiarism is all about, and to be able to avoid plagiarism. So then if you plagiarize later in the course, you're going to get penalized in your points because I know that you've already passed this quiz, which tells me that you know about plagiarism. So enough said about that. After that, you can begin to read chapter 1 and read the how to post to the discussions. Here, this is another video tutorial that you can take, you need to take, because it shows you exactly how to post to the discussions and the various requirements for the discussions. It will show you all the details that are necessary to get all the points available for the discussions. In any place in this course, you need to pay attention to the details, read all of the requirements, and if you don't, then you're probably going to lose out on a few points. So let us move to the second part of this, chapter 1. So this will show you exactly what all of the chapters look like. All the modules, the chapter modules, will have something called norms notes. These are the equivalent in this class to my lecture. So this will have all the things in here that I think are missing in the text or need to be stressed or very important, need some extra explanation, that sort of thing. It could be interactive situations, videos. Here's a concept, correlation and causation involved in research, that is something that students often get confused by. So there's a couple of videos to help you with that, to clarify that for you. Research methods, the experiment, placebo effect. So anything that I think needs a little extra boost that the textbook is not quite up to the job on, I will include in here. Once in a while, I'll do my own video explaining various concepts. Those are called norms concept clips. This particular norms notes has something called on critical thinking in here, including a couple of brain teasers to illustrate a point. I think you'll find that those are fun to do and interesting as well. So that's a typical norms note. Another thing you might want to know is that somewhere in most of these, or in quite a few of them, are extra questions that if you send me the answer to in a little email in Canvas, that you can get bonus extra credit points for sending me the answer. And the answers will be found somewhere in norms notes. You'll also find that in a lot of the quizzes, chapter quizzes, some of the questions will originate in norms note. They won't be found in the text, but they will be found either in a video or in the text of norms notes. So it's fairly important that you read and watch the videos in these norms notes. Okay. So next on the list is what's due this week. This is just exactly what it sounds like. Like here, typically it's highlighted in red or blue. You can also find out what's due for the entire course. Take first a little quick look at the calendar because it's the same information. The calendar has color-coded information for this class and other classes, but this shows all the assignments, when they're available, when they're due, some other information. Looks just like a normal calendar. It works pretty well. The same information, if you click syllabus in here, the same information that was on that calendar is now presented sequentially for the entire semester. Also on the syllabus page, you can look at the entire syllabus by clicking this little icon right here, and it'll show you the document right here in place. That's a nice feature of Canvas. You'll be seeing this in several spots. There's the entire course calendar once again. So there's like 4 different places you can find out what's due and where and when. Another thing you might want to take a look at in here is the different values, the different point values and their percentages for the course. And we'll take another look at that in a minute here. So let's get back to the modules. After what's due will be the study guide. What you need to know here is that the terms you'll find in here could either be a simple definition, like it says right here. If it doesn't say specifically definition, then it could be anything more involved in the concept itself, or the broader concept, or some of these terms are like scientific method. Could be take 2 or 3 pages in the textbook to cover them. In that case, you need to read everything related to that concept in the textbook, because some of the questions will be context questions where you need to understand the entire concept instead of just the definition. If a question is going to be on the quiz, the topic will be in here. The only exception to that is anything taken out of Norm's notes. Sometimes will be in here, but not always. So sometimes you'll just have to read all of Norm's notes, figuring that something in there is likely to turn up on the test. So then you can take the quiz, clicking right here. That'll be available all week. Now the weeks in this class go from Monday at 12 a.m. is the start of the week. That's when everything becomes available for that module, for that chapter, for that week. Monday at 12 a.m. Everything is due by, and the week ends on Sunday evening at 11:59. So it's Monday 12 a.m. through Sunday 11:59. That's the week-long period when things are available and when you can, like for example, quiz 1 can be taken anytime during that period, that 1 week period. If you do that, if you take it within that period, you get extra points for being on time. If you don't take it in that period, you don't get those points, which are added to the total, but you still can take the quiz at any point through the end of the semester. So what you don't get are the on-time points, they're called, if you don't take it in this due period, this 1 week due period. Now the discussions, there are 2 of them, and those have a 3-week period where from when they are offered first, and the discussion 1 is offered as soon as you open the course. 3 weeks later, at the end of 3 weeks later, discussion 1 is due. If you turn that in that time frame, you get bonus points or on-time points for having done so on time. If you don't get the on-time points, but you do have until the next of the last week of the course to turn those in, the 2 discussions. So that would be the Sunday before finals week, when all discussions are due and cannot be turned in after that point. Okay, so let's go back to chapter 1, discussion 1, and then the last thing on the module is the study guide for the upcoming week. Now this week here, chapter 2, will not be available until 6/19. However, as soon as this week starts, the chapter study guide for the upcoming week for chapter 2 is available. So that allows you to study ahead. If you get ahead in this week here, this will allow you to study ahead and know what specifically you need to study for chapter 2, even though the rest of this stuff is not available yet if you don't get ahead of the material. So Norm's notes is like like my lecture, and it wouldn't be available until the week that it's in. Okay, so that pretty much covers the modules. So we covered the syllabus as well. Let's take a brief look at the grades. This is what your grades are going to look like. In each case, you'll have how many points are available and then your score here. Now the thing I want to point out here is you have a choice of 2 ways to present your grade right here. One will be based on graded assignments or not. So if you uncheck that, it's not going to be graded based on graded assignments. So this, if you get behind on a quiz and this is checked, it's not going to count that against you. What that will do is show you how you're doing on the assignments that you've turned in and have been graded. So that will give you an idea of how you're doing in the course. If you're doing B work, it will just show you that for what you've turned in. If you're 3 quizzes behind, you may be doing B work on what you've done, but if I had to grade you at that point, it would not be a B work. So the reason this is like this is if you uncheck this, that will show you the grade that I had to give you at that point. And that's also good if you're gonna be asking me for reports for that are required for financial aid, that sort of thing. Though in those cases, you're going to want to know what I'm going to have to give you if I have to base it on everything. Whether it's it won't be if I haven't graded it, I won't penalize you for that. But if you're 3 quizzes behind, I still have to show them the grade that I would need to give you to date without those quizzes. So that's something to think about when those reports come due. The final thing on the menu here is NetTutor. I have no experience with that. I'd like to hear from somebody who's used this. It's an online free tutoring session, and I think I've heard good stuff about it, but that's from the administration sources. I'd like to hear what some students think about that. So let me know if you try it. Let me know what it's like. So that's pretty much it. If you have any questions at any point, give me a call. My number's on the home page right here, or send me an email over here. Please do not use my personal email or my school email. Do everything related to this class in Canvas email, and please do not use that Canvas email or any other email for your discussions. Those need to be submitted only in the discussions themselves. If that's a problem for you, let me know, and I'll help you through that. Okay? That's it. Good luck, and see you in the course.